And like someone like me, who I've been training with these fuckers for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if fucking Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down. You know? Are you going to be able to like stop that counter? Are you going to be able to counter wrestle? And like you can, it's not hard. You just got to like, it's not hard. Yeah. But you know, I've been training these little fucking, you know, these little terrorists for my forever. So it's like, I just gotta know how to do it.
Sean Strickland has just slammed Khamzat Chimaev ahead of his fight with Dricus du Plessis and called Khamzat a terrorist. On the other hand, Darren Till expressed confidence that Khamzat Chimaev would defeat Dricus du Plessis, predicting a finish within 2 rounds. While he respected Dricus for his hard work and unorthodox style, Till emphasized Chimaev's strength and dedication. He also mentioned a recent video call with Khamzat and his plan to help with his training camp in Dubai. The conversation lightened with playful banter between Till and Ariel Helwani about appearance and fitness.
You think he beats Khamzat, your boy?
No, look, with respect, I'm never going to look past Strickland because he trains hard, he's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds. I really do believe that. But look, Khamzat knows. I was speaking to Khamzat on the FaceTime the other day because I'm meant to be going out to Dubai to help with the camp. Khamzat knows it's a tough fight, but you know, Khamzat trains like a beast. I do think Khamzat gets it in 2 rounds done.
Moreover, Rampage Jackson weighed in on the potential matchup between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, calling it a really good fight. He praised du Plessis for his recent performances, describing them as clinics and acknowledging that DDP has that fighting spirit and toughness. However, he emphasized that Khamzat is a beast and a different kind of animal altogether, suggesting that while both are high-level competitors, Chimaev brings a unique and dangerous intensity to the cage.
Who do you think wins, DDP or Khamzat?
DDP versus Khamzat, that was a really good matchup.
We saw what DDP did in the last couple fights. He put on some clinics, right?
Yeah, DDP, he got that dog in him too. You know what I'm saying? He's really good, but we all know Khamzat is a beast.
He's a different animal.
He's a different animal.
However, Sean Strickland discussed the potential matchup between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev by focusing on the grappling aspect of the fight. He acknowledged that while Chimaev is officially Swedish, his wrestling-heavy background is rooted in Chechen-style grappling, which Strickland has extensive experience training against. He noted that fighters from this background are extremely tough to deal with, but based on his own training and sparring history, counter-wrestling them is possible. Strickland stated that if du Plessis can effectively shut down Chimaev's wrestling and maintain control of the fight, he sees Dricus winning decisively.
So those little Chechen, I don't want to say Chechen, he's not Chechen, he's Swedish, but those little Chechen whore, like, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me, who I've been training with these fuckers for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down. You know, I've sparred the Chechen whore, like hands down. I think Dricus wins.
In his remarks, Strickland controversially referred to Chimaev and others like him using derogatory terms and labeled them as terrorists, explicitly linking this to Chimaev's Muslim faith. This comment reflects Strickland's ongoing pattern of inflammatory statements, often criticized as xenophobic or Islamophobic. Despite his technical insight into the matchup, his remarks overshadowed the analysis and sparked backlash due to the offensive and prejudiced nature of his language.
Are you going to be able to like stop that counter? Are you going to be able to counter wrestle? And like you can, it's not hard. You just got to like, it's not hard. Yeah. But you know, I've been training these little fucking, you know, these little terrorists for my forever. So it's like, I just got to know how to do it.
However, Bilal Muhammad acknowledged Dricus du Plessis' impressive performances, but noted his opponents have mostly been strikers. He pointed out that du Plessis struggled with wrestlers like Derek Brunson, who controlled him early, and Robert Whittaker, who also took him down easily. As a result, Bilal believes Khamzat Chimaev would dominate du Plessis. However, he criticized Chimaev's cardio, calling it one of the worst in the UFC, though he conceded it might not matter if Chimaev finishes quickly. Still, Bilal argued that du Plessis' strong chin and willpower would make it hard for Chimaev to finish him.
When you're looking at the guys he fought stylistically, right, he hasn't fought a guy who trying to take him down yet. It's all been
strikers. His last two, it's Adesanya and Strickland. Like when he fought Brunson was killing him the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
And he just gassed. You know, we've seen him get taken down by Brunson. We've seen him get taken down by Whitaker. He's gotten taken down by you guys so easily. That's why I think Chimaev's gonna walk through.
I know that's your boy, but Khamzat has got some of the worst cardio in the entire company.
You don't need cardio if you finish the guy in 2 minutes.
But Dricus isn't going to get finished. He's got an iron chin and an iron will.
Moreover, Caio Borralho gave his thoughts on the fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, expressing confidence that Chimaev would win due to a major flaw in how most fighters prepare for him. He noted that many train with standard wrestlers to defend takedowns, but Chimaev uses a unique form of MMA wrestling that blends striking, pressure, and unconventional movement, making it much harder to counter. Caio stressed that stopping Chimaev requires more than basic takedown defense, and that fighters need to understand his timing, patterns, and overall system. Without that level of preparation, he believes du Plessis will likely be overwhelmed.
Khamzat fighting against Dricus. Who do you think he wins?
I think Khamzat is gonna win because I don't see anyone preparing properly for Khamzat. They are bringing wrestlers to train them to defend takedowns and all that, but Khamzat doesn't do the normal stuff. Khamzat doesn't do wrestling. He does MMA wrestling. It's different. You need to understand his system, what he wants next. You need to understand this first, and then you start to prepare for him. And I think Khamzat is gonna win for Dricus.
Rael Sonnen shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, emphasizing that it's far from a straightforward matchup. He pointed out that taking du Plessis down is much harder than it seems, as no one has been able to take him down and maintain control. Rael also highlighted the current excitement in the middleweight division, with fighters like Kyle Barboza, Bo Nickel, and Dennis Tuliolin emerging as serious contenders, while Sean Strickland continues to stay relevant. He called it an exciting time for the 185-pound class, noting how it has never had such a strong spotlight.
I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds has had such a spotlight on it. I'm watching this guy, Caio Borralho, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickel go all the way to the top. And I think that DeRinner is greatly underrated. And I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
While Chael acknowledged that Chimaev is the favorite and leaned toward picking him to win, he expressed some caution. He admitted that he wasn't entirely confident in how Chimaev would secure the victory, particularly when it comes to taking du Plessis down and keeping him there. Chael believed the first round would be crucial, stating that if Chimaev manages to take du Plessis down early, things could quickly fall apart for Dricus. However, if du Plessis defends takedowns successfully in the first round, it will only get easier for him as the fight progresses.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite.
Coach Eric Nixon shared his insights on Dricus du Plessis, praising him as a respectful and well-coached fighter. He acknowledged how much Dricus du Plessis has improved since his fight with Brad, noting that he has since grown into a world-class competitor. Despite Dricus' seemingly wild style in the cage, Nixon explained that his movements are actually well-planned and the result of consistent, focused training. He highlighted how Dricus' unpredictable movement makes it difficult for opponents to establish a rhythm. To counter this, Nixon believes the key to defeating Dricus is to take him down and maintain control on the ground.
I'm so curious how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated in what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that shit? Take a guy down, put him on his back.
Jason Mayhem Miller analyzed the upcoming middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, highlighting the complexities each fighter brings. Miller noted that du Plessis faces a significant challenge in deciphering Chimaev's multifaceted approach, which combines European kickboxing with high-level grappling. He questioned whether du Plessis could effectively counter-wrestle, initiate striking exchanges while advancing, and avoid being taken down. Miller suggested that the outcome may hinge on conditioning and the ability to maintain energy throughout the bout.
This kind of thing is, all right, so now do you counter wrestle? Do you find your striking exchanges working when you push the guy backwards? And can you do that without overshooting and getting taken down? Do you want to get taken down and make a scramble and this? No, probably not. Du Plessis has work cut out for him. Like, he has to kind of figure this enigma out of a dude who can kickbox pretty good with this European style kickboxing and also really high level grappling. I don't know. I think it'll come down to who's in the best shape, who's the best conditioned. That's really the end of that. Happy birthday, August 16th. We're going to see that one.
Miller slightly favored Chimaev, attributing his edge to years of grappling experience that provide a natural comfort during exchanges, allowing him to conserve energy where others might fatigue. While du Plessis is a strong and skilled grappler, Miller pointed out that his size is more due to added muscle than a naturally large frame, which could impact his endurance in prolonged grappling exchanges. He concluded that Chimaev's experience and style might give him the advantage, though he acknowledged the possibility of an upset in du Plessis' favor.
Yeah, Chimaev, you know, because he has like this special ingrained, and I say this because you start the kids young and they just get a little extra something, you know, there's a little bit of extra feel. There's another 10,000 hours put on top of their athleticism because they've been doing this for so long, grappling especially. And du Plessis is an excellent grappler, but what it comes down to is being able to relax during those grappling exchanges and not use that much energy. His body is big, but he's like a bigger human being, not necessarily just a big muscle-bound guy like du Plessis. He's like du Plessis has the frame of a lighter man, but has put on muscle to compete at the higher weight class. Yeah, Chimaev might have an edge, might be an upset there.
Jamahal Hill expressed his support for Dricus du Plessis in the upcoming middleweight title fight against Khamzat Chimaev, citing du Plessis' consistent ability to exceed expectations. Hill highlighted du Plessis' superior cardio and physical strength as key factors that make him a formidable opponent. He also noted that Chimaev has shown signs of fatigue in later rounds in previous bouts. Additionally, Hill pointed out du Plessis' unpredictable striking style, which he believes will enable him to land significant strikes. However, Hill cautioned that Chimaev's exceptional natural grappling skills could pose a challenge and potentially surprise du Plessis.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. It may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. I think he's got the better cardio. His physical strength, I believe, can pose a problem for anybody in that division. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time, get a read on. So I believe he will land. So I probably lean more towards DDP, but you can't count a guy like Khamzat out. I believe he's one of the best natural pure grapplers. He does have the ability to throw some hands too, so it's interesting.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson analyzed the middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, emphasizing the importance of pacing. He believes du Plessis has the striking edge if he can keep the fight standing and avoid Chimaev's grappling. Johnson pointed out that Chimaev has shown signs of tiring in later rounds, as seen against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. He suggested that Du Plessis' unorthodox striking could be key in outstriking Chimaev. However, he also recognized Chimaev's wrestling as a major threat, and Du Plessis will need to defend it throughout the fight.
This is my hot take. If Chimaev cannot get him down,
he will. But yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right? I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully mounted, back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him, could not finish him,
Couldn't get him.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever, but if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best. He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be do the kicks, and I think DDP is gonna beat him.
Yeah,
like
I could see it.
I think Khamzat Chimaev is more athletic, more traditional, but I think that awkwardness of the old what did he say? The lanky man style. I think DDP is gonna put in the bag.
Robert Whitaker has acknowledged that Khamzat Chimaev's takedowns are both powerful and technically challenging to defend. However, he sees Dricus Du Plessis as a tough and determined fighter who is difficult to finish. Whitaker believes that if anyone can survive Chimaev's early onslaught, it would be Du Plessis, whose durability and grit could shift the momentum in his favor, giving him a real shot at winning.
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think is going to walk away as the champion here?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. Like, his takedowns are so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like mold, dude.
Dominic Cruz has expressed admiration for Dricus Du Plessis' striking and stance switching abilities, noting that these skills enhance his takedown defense. Cruz believes Du Plessis possesses the strength to challenge Khamzat Chimaev's power in the initial rounds, a feat that many opponents struggle to achieve. However, Cruz acknowledges that this matchup could be the most challenging of Du Plessis' career.
I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong. So I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much. And I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough. He can challenge it. But I will say, I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Bo Nichols stated that grappling is the most dominant and difficult style to counter in MMA, citing his wrestling background as a reason for his perspective. He pointed to the success of fighters like Merab Dvalishvili, Islam Makhachev, Bilal Muhammad, and Khamzat Chimaev as evidence of grappling's effectiveness. Nichols highlighted that even strikers like Chimaev have strong wrestling foundations, giving them a significant edge. He credited his own success to daily training with world-class wrestlers, believing this sets him apart from many MMA fighters who lack access to high-level grappling partners.
You know, just based on the styles, I just think the grappling style, you know, I might be biased. I'm definitely biased, but I think the grappling style is so hard to beat, and it's so hard to defend against. And I guess if you look at it from a analytical point of view, you have so many. It's really become the dominant force in the sport. You got Merab, you got Islam, you got Bilal, you got Khamzat. You even have you can even look at Topuria. Obviously, people know he's more of a boxing style, and he does a lot more striking. But his background is wrestling. You know, he did that before anything else, and so it's really wrestlers that are dominating, grapplers that are dominating the sport right now. And so I think that I would give the edge to Khamzat,
Kamaru Usman highlighted that getting Khamzat Chimaev on your back in round 1 is a difficult task, and once he's there, it's hard to get him off. He praised Chimaev's powerful squeeze, noting how he was able to sink in submissions with ease. Usman questioned whether Chimaev could use that same style against Dricus du Plessis, acknowledging the unique challenges that du Plessis might present in the fight.
Khamzat Chimaev on your back in round 1 is not easy to get off. And then he was able to sink that in, and that goes to show how strong of a squeeze this freaking dude had.
Could he pull that same style against Dricus du Plessis? Because I will say this.
Henry Cejudo stated that Khamzat Chimaev could beat anyone in the world in a round, but he doesn't believe that will happen against Dricus du Plessis. Cejudo argued that du Plessis' scrambles and relentless pressure would pose problems for Chimaev, who would need to pace himself for 5 rounds. While Cejudo once thought du Plessis was sloppy, he now sees his volume and tenacity as a serious challenge for Chimaev.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. With DDP's train just continue to keep rolling, and he's still steaming, and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too, I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Merab until they bring that volume and just the tenacity. It changes everything.
Azamat Bakoev believes many people underestimate Dricus du Plessis, but views it as a tough fight for Khamzat Chimaev. While acknowledging Chimaev's strength and ability to dominate many fighters, Bakoev thinks the fight will be close, giving Chimaev a slight edge of about 55%.
Everybody underestimate the champion Dricus du Plessis, but I think it's going to be not easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. But Khamzat Chimaev also strong. He destroyed a lot of fighters, and but I still think it's going to be close fight, and who knows who's gonna win? Maybe 55%. So it's Chimaev, like that.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen right now.